Okay, so we're diving into Bitcoin today.
All right.
It's been a wild ride recently, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
You sent me that Crypto Potato article.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin enters new volatile range as markets continue to struggle by Mandy Williams.
Right.
It's from March 11th, 2025.
Yep.
And, a lot of our listeners are really interested in Bitcoin, but,
Hmm.
they don't want to have to go and get a PhD in finance just to figure out what's going on.
Absolutely.
So we're going to break this down. We're
Yeah.
going to understand why Bitcoin has been so volatile recently, what happened in the market as a result, and also, just what are the potential long-term effects of all this.
Yeah, that article is a great place to start. It
Yeah.
really captures all the craziness that's been happening.
Yeah.
So maybe we can jump right in and talk about the price action.
Okay.
On March 10th, Bitcoin fell below $80,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it even hit $76,800 before going back up to around $81,000 when the article was published.
Okay, so a pretty big drop and then
Yeah,
at least a partial recovery.
exactly. A quick drop and a bounce back. Definitely something worth looking into.
Yeah, for sure. So the article also mentions a report from Bitfinex Alpha.
Right.
What did that report say about the drop to 76,800?
What was really interesting because that drop caused over $950 million in liquidations.
$950 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is.
And it shows just how many traders were using borrowed money to bet on Bitcoin.
So both people who thought the price would go up
Exactly.
and people who thought it would go down.
Yep. And when the price dropped, suddenly all their positions were automatically closed out.
Oh, so they lost money.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leverage can be really risky in crypto.
Yeah.
You can get wiped out even with small price changes.
It's like the market doesn't care who you are.
Pretty much.
If you're on the wrong side of the trade, you're going to get hit.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a good reminder that even seemingly small drops can have a huge impact.
Wow, almost $1 billion in liquidations. That's wild.
Yeah, it is. The report also mentioned that before this drop, Bitfinex analysts were expecting Bitcoin to go up temporarily.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after it fell below $80,000 in February.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually what happened. Bitcoin went up to around $90,000.
Okay.
And then it stayed between $85,000 and $92,000 for a bit.
So they were right.
Yeah, for that period, their analysis was pretty spot on.
That's interesting. So things were relatively calm for a bit, and then
Right.
volatility came back.
Yeah, and the article points to two main reasons for that. The White House Crypto Summit and President Trump's executive order.
Okay, let's talk about the summit first. What was all the buzz about before the summit?
Well, the Bitfinex analysts said that there was a lot of talk about the U.S. government potentially creating a strategic crypto reserve.
Like a stockpile of Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Mm,
And the idea of the government holding a lot of Bitcoin got a lot of people excited.
I bet. Yeah, if the government's buying it, the price is probably going up, right?
That's what a lot of people were thinking.
Okay, so then on March 7th, President Trump made it official.
Well, he issued an executive order
Right.
that laid the groundwork for this Bitcoin reserve
Mm-hmm.
and also a stockpile of other digital assets.
So it sounds like a good thing for Bitcoin.
Right. You would think that.
But the article says the price went up briefly and then quickly went back down.
Yeah. It's funny how that works.
So what happened?
Well, sometimes the market gets ahead of itself.
Like people were already expecting the price to go up.
Exactly. So they bought in anticipation of the news, but then when the actual executive order came out,
Yeah.
investors realized that it didn't actually mean that the government would be buying a bunch of Bitcoin right away.
Oh, so it was like a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. It happens all the time.
Okay, so the market got a little too excited.
It seems that way. And there was another thing happening at the same time. A huge Bitcoin and Ethereum options expiry event.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Apparently it was worth up to $3 billion.
$3 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of options. Contracts expiring.
So how does that affect the price?
Well, when you have that many options expiring, it creates a lot of trading activity.
People buying and selling to close out their positions?
Right, or rolling them over into new contracts.
Yeah.
And all that buying and selling can cause big price swings.
I see. So it adds to the volatility.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And it can also lead to losses for people who bet on the wrong price direction.
Okay, so we've got speculation about the government buying Bitcoin, a big options expiry event, and all of that happening at the same time.
It was a perfect storm for price swings.
Yeah, sounds like it. But here's something interesting. The article says that even though Bitcoin was volatile, it was actually more stable than a lot of other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think that means?
Well, I think it shows that when things get uncertain in the crypto market,
Yeah.
people tend to move their money into Bitcoin.
Because it's the biggest and most established cryptocurrency.
Exactly. It's seen as the safest bet in the crypto world.
So like a flight to safety.
Exactly. People are less confident in the smaller altcoins.
Especially when things are crazy.
Right. They see Bitcoin as the more reliable option.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the article also mentions that market sentiment, liquidity, and macroeconomic uncertainty are still playing a role in Bitcoin's price.
Yeah. Those factors are always important.
They're like the background music to the whole crypto market.
Exactly. They set the tone.
So how do they affect Bitcoin specifically?
Well, when market sentiment is cautious,
Meaning people are nervous
right, even small negative news can cause a big sell-off.
because people are quick to get out,
Exactly. And then there's liquidity.
which is how easy it is to buy or sell Bitcoin without affecting the price too much.
Exactly. When liquidity is low, even small trades can cause big price swings.
So low liquidity makes the market more volatile,
Exactly. And then, of course, there's the macroeconomic environment.
like inflation, interest rates, the economy in general.
Right. All those things affect how much risk investors are willing to take.
And that affects all markets, not just crypto.
Exactly. So if the economy is doing poorly, people might be less likely to invest in risky assets like Bitcoin.
Okay, so all these things are intertwined.
They are. The market sentiment, liquidity, and the overall economy. They all work together.
And then the article talks about a surge in realized volatility.
Yeah, that's a fancy way of saying that Bitcoin's price has been moving around a lot.
So like a measure of how much the price has actually changed.
Exactly. And the article says that this realized volatility has been especially high over the past week or two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it even reached
Yeah.
above 80% in the options market.
So basically, Bitcoin has been on a roller coaster.
Pretty much. It's been up and down and all over the place.
And all this volatility led to what the article calls mass capitulation.
Right. That's when a lot of investors sell their Bitcoin at a loss.
Because they're panicking.
Yeah, they just want to get out of the market before they lose even more money.
And this often happens when the price drops quickly.
Exactly. It triggers these automatic sell orders that people have set up.
Oh, to limit their losses.
Right. And it can also happen when people are using borrowed money to trade.
And they get margin called.
Exactly. They have to put up more money or their positions get closed out.
Ouch. So mass capitulation is like everyone running for the exits at the same time.
Pretty much. It's not a pretty sight.
But the article ends on a slightly more positive note.
Yeah, it says that these mass capitulation events can sometimes lead to market stabilization.
Oh, really? How does that work?
Well, the idea is that once all the panicky sellers are out of the market,
Yeah,
the only people left are the ones who believe in Bitcoin long term.
the strong hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they start buying up the Bitcoin that the weak hands sold.
So the market stabilizes.
Right, because there's less selling pressure.
Okay, so let's summarize everything we've learned from this Crypto Potato article. Bitcoin has been super volatile because of a bunch of factors.
Right.
A big price drop liquidation, speculation about a U.S. crypto reserve, a big options expiry event.
And don't forget about market sentiment, liquidity, and macroeconomic uncertainty.
Yeah, all those things too.
That's a lot to keep track of.
It is. But hopefully this deep dive has helped our listeners understand what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe even learn a few new terms along the way,
Absolutely.
like realized volatility and mass capitulation.
Those are important concepts for anyone who wants to understand the crypto market.
They are. So for you listening out there, we hope this is giving you a better grasp on what's been driving Bitcoin's price action.
Yeah, and a reminder that the crypto market is still very volatile.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not.
You really have to understand the risks involved.
Absolutely. And you need to have a clear idea of how much risk you're comfortable with.
So taking a step back and thinking about everything we've talked about today,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think the next big thing could be that shakes up the crypto market?
That's a good question.
No one knows for sure.
That's the exciting part, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen next.
Exactly. That's why we keep coming back.
And that's why we love talking about it with you.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye.